You know that feeling, right? 6 people gathered around a table, the air crackling with potential, dice ready to roll.
Oh, yeah.
You're running a D&D campaign, and you look around at this crowd. 6 distinct personalities, 6 different character sheets, 6 players, all eager to jump into the story.
It's pure energy.
It is. But let's be honest, sometimes it feels less like a symphony and more like, well, beautifully chaotic noise.
Definitely chaotic sometimes. Side conversations bubbling up.
Combat turns feeling like they take geologic ages. Just trying to give everyone a moment in the sun. That common perception that 6 players equals chaos. It's incredibly relatable.
Absolutely. It's a vibrant challenge for sure. That potential you mentioned is huge, but wrangling it so it doesn't just evolve, that can feel like the real adventure sometimes.
It really can. And that's exactly why we're diving deep today into this specific source you shared, an article from LitRPG Reads.
Right.
Titled DM Tips, How to Run a D&D Campaign with 6 Players Without Losing Control by Kenny Kings.
A really insightful piece, yeah. It tackles the reality of the larger table head on.
It gives us a ton to work with. So our mission for this deep dive, just for you, is to unpack this article, really dig into its core, and pull out the most useful nuggets.
Practical tactics, creative ideas.
Exactly. Things that can genuinely help turn that potential mess into something truly magnificent.
Right.
How do you channel all that energy, keep things moving, and make sure everyone's having fun and feels included?
Okay, let's get into it. The article, it doesn't shy away from that initial perception. It states up front that the prevailing wisdom is often 6 is chaos beware.
Yeah, it's like the first thing you hear, right, when you mention running for a bigger group. And the logistical side alone is enough to make you sweat. The article nails it by pointing straight to initiative order.
Oh, yeah.
In combat, multiplying every action, every spell, every little, wait, can I do this, debate by 6 players, plus all the monsters' combat crawls.
And that's the core of the problem, isn't it? That prolonged idle time while players wait for their turn. That's the disengagement zone. Phones come out, side chatter starts, players just sort of drift off because the action isn't on them.
Keeping the tempo up is absolutely vital.
Totally.
And beyond the mechanics, there's the emotional dynamic. 6 players means 6 sets of individual hopes, character goals, personal anxieties, storytelling ambitions.
They're all competing for the same limited table time and spotlight.
Right. And the article points out how easy it is for just 1 or 2 dominant personalities to inadvertently overshadow the quieter voices.
And that leads straight to frustration, uneven participation, players feeling like their character isn't contributing or maybe their backstory isn't important.
Yeah.
The DM has to be actively thinking about how to give everyone that moment, not just the most vocal.
Plus the sheer narrative complexity. I mean, trying to weave in 6 unique character arcs, individual backstories, motivations.
It can feel less like weaving a tapestry and more like trying to untangle 6 balls of yarn that a cat got into.
That's a perfect analogy.
It's a lot to track, you know? And there's that pull between simplifying things for your own sanity
Right.
versus knowing players crave seeing their story integrated into the main plot.
And you can see friction arise within the group dynamic itself. With more players, you get more potential for creative overlap. Maybe 2 rogues who want to do the exact same thing.
Or characters with fundamentally opposing views on how to solve a problem.
Yeah. And if you don't build in ways to manage that, it can definitely lead to session derailing arguments or the group kind of fracturing.
Although the article also hints that these moments of conflict, if you handle them well, can be really powerful story beats.
True, true. The source gives some great practical in-session warning signs to watch for, too, pulling them right from observations at the table.
Like what?
Things like excessive chatter, players on their phones, or, yawning during long combat turns. Those are the obvious tells.
Or when players ask, wait, what just happened? Because they've clearly zoned out. That's a big one.
Definitely. Visible frustration or silence from quieter players, or players maybe interrupting each other. Those are signals of uneven participation or overlapping desires for the spotlight.
Right. And if people seem confused or bored, that might mean the narrative threads are getting too tangled for them.
And of course, raised voices or tension usually means player conflict isn't being channeled constructively.
Recognizing these signals early is key to course correction, like the article says.
Exactly. They're not failures, just indicators that the game needs a slight adjustment in tempo or focus or dynamic.
Being attuned to these signs allows you to respond before small issues become big problems.
Okay, so we face the chaos monster, we know the challenges. But the article makes this really compelling pivot,
Yeah, this is where it gets good.
arguing that this challenge isn't something to fear, but actually a hidden source of power.
This is where it shifts from daunting to exciting, I think. That multiplied energy, the clashing ideas, the inventive, sometimes devious collaboration,
Oh.
the constant churn of ideas being voiced. It creates this kinetic, unpredictable vibrancy that a smaller group just can't replicate.
It's like every session has the potential for these exuberant collisions, as the article puts it.
I like that phrase.
Different character perspectives slamming together, unexpected twists emerging from player choices. These outrageous plans fueled by 6 minds working in tandem.
The article beautifully calls the table a living chorus, each voice adding depth.
That's lovely. And the dramatic weight increases proportionally, right?
Oh, absolutely. A moment of heartbreak hits harder when 5 other players feel it with you.
Yeah.
Triumphs are shared in stereo. Group victories are incredibly resonant.
The sheer diversity at the table is a major asset, too. You get a wider range of skills, perspectives on moral dilemmas, different approaches to problems.
The room buzzes with negotiation, compromise, and often totally outside-the-box thinking.
This higher player count inherently raises the stakes for unpredictability. Any single choice by one player can have ripple effects through the actions of 5 others.
Social encounters become these complex, multi-party dynamics. More personal stories can be told in parallel.
And the opportunities for truly legendary, memorable moments multiply. The article lists some unique advantages that really stand out.
Like what?
Well, yes, you get multi-layered combat strategy, but think about the endless combinations of party dynamics you can explore.
You also have richer opportunities for downtime, with characters pursuing concurrent personal quests. That's a good point.
And a large party provides more social leverage when interacting with NPCs. You've got more skills and angles covered.
And the emotional payoffs are huge when a large group achieves something together.
The varied perspectives on tough decisions lead to much deeper roleplay. Plus, a larger group provides a built-in safety net if a player has to miss a session.
Right, the game can still largely function. That's huge.
It also creates a natural audience for character reveals or personal growth moments. It makes split-party scenarios much more feasible.
Yeah, you can actually do that without grinding everything to a halt. And you have more opportunities for compelling inter-party conflict or complex collaborations.
You naturally get shared note-taking
Oh, that's helpful.
and a deeper pool of ideas for solving puzzles or making plans. And the cumulative impact of a large group's actions can make the world feel more responsive and alive.
It's definitely more complexity to manage, no doubt. But the payoff in terms of rich, unpredictable, player-driven storytelling is immense.
You're not just running a game. You're
Mhm.
facilitating a truly collaborative, vibrant narrative experience.
So true.
So, seeing the challenges and the incredible opportunities, how do you actually put this into practice? How do you make it work?
Well, the article gives us a ton of practical strategies and tactics for making the 6-player table thrive.
Okay.
It strongly emphasizes the importance of preparation, describing it not just as helpful, but a lifeline.
A lifeline, okay.
More characters mean a bigger web of potential actions and consequences, so having structure and forethought allows that creativity to bloom within a contained space.
Right, like sketching out potential scenarios, knowing how key character arcs might intersect. It gives you a framework.
And that points directly to Session 0. The article calls it doubly crucial for larger groups.
Doubly crucial. Makes sense.
This isn't just about rolling stats. It's where players explicitly build connections between their characters, shared histories, alliances, group goals, even secrets.
And crucially, Session 0 is where you set expectations.
Exactly. What kind of tone is this campaign? What are the table boundaries? How will initiative work? Having a shared understanding of the table dynamic up front provides a foundational framework and builds cohesion.
And the article makes a great point that solid preparation isn't just about, like, crunching numbers.
Yeah.
It boosts your DM confidence.
Yeah.
Knowing the world, having a handle on the rules, sketching out contingencies, that makes you feel more secure.
Which in turn makes players feel safer taking risks and being creative.
Right. Those pre-built social ties and clear outlines free up mental energy during the game for improvisation.
Exactly. It's about preparing enough so you can improvise effectively. You're building the stage so the actors feel comfortable performing.
But even with amazing prep, flexibility is absolutely non-negotiable.
Oh, for sure. 6 creative minds will surprise you in ways you can't possibly predict.
Your prep should be a launch pad for improvisation, not a cage.
Well said. Trusting your foundational knowledge lets you roll with those completely wild player schemes.
And the article provides a really comprehensive toolbox of specific tactics to achieve this. We should probably touch on some of those.
Yeah, let's group some of them first. Tactics aimed at sort of setting the stage and building the group.
Right.
Using session 0 for clear expectations and encouraging those character connections, maybe even defining a party mission statement.
I like that. Then there are tactics focused on encounters and narrative hooks.
Right, preparing modular encounters that aren't just combat, rescue, social, investigation.
Variety is key.
And giving each player personalized plot hooks or secrets that draw them in. Make it personal.
Good stuff. What about managing the session flow, especially combat? That's the big one.
The article suggests initiative trackers, or cards obviously, pre-rolling passive checks like perception and insight can save time.
Okay.
And a really useful one. Setting soft time limits for turns, maybe 30-60 seconds, as a gentle reminder to keep things moving.
A nudge, not a hammer. I like it.
Exactly.
And ensuring everyone feels seen, especially quieter players.
Actively spotlighting them, using direct questions like, what is character name feeling right now? Or narrating moments that feature their specific skills or reactions, making space for them.
You could also build encounters designed to occasionally split the party, right? Gives everyone a chance to shine in a smaller group setting.
Yeah, that's a great tactic. You can also use mechanics like group skill checks, where multiple players contribute to a single task, allowing more people to participate actively.
Distributing the load helps too. Delegating non-DM tasks like tracking loot or managing marching order to players.
Let them handle some of the bookkeeping. Good idea.
For streamlining things, the article suggests montages for travel or shopping.
Skip the boring bits.
Preparing quick NPC stat blocks or using digital tools or whiteboards for clear visual info.
And encouraging players to think about their turn before it comes up. That's a classic, but crucial.
Definitely. What about more creative narrative tactics?
Things like using directed questions in roleplay. What does your character fear most? Or collaborative world-building prompts that give players agency.
Oh, interesting.
Introducing character secrets or moral dilemmas that spark in-character debate is a great way to generate player interaction. Let them talk to each other.
And fostering that collaborative spirit. Rewarding strong in-character moments with inspiration.
Always good.
Suggesting players nominate each other for cool plays, or ending sessions by asking players how their characters feel about what just happened.
Checking in emotionally, it's a massive list, really. Covers everything from mechanics to social dynamics.
And the article emphasizes this isn't a rigid checklist, it's a toolbox.
Exactly. Experimentation is key.
Right, because no single tactic works for every group, every single time. You have to be willing to try things, see what resonates with your players, and iterate.
The best system isn't some universal rulebook. It's the one you and your table build together that keeps everyone engaged and excited.
So, to wrap up the core message from the source, the DM empowerment section reinforces that yes, running for 6 players is more work.
It definitely is. It demands more prep, more social dexterity, more improv energy from you.
But, and this is the important part, it also unlocks a surge in narrative potential.
It's not a burden, it's an invitation to build a richer, more complex, more collaborative story world.
The article stresses setting healthy boundaries for yourself and clear expectations with your group. Don't be afraid to pause the game to address issues constructively.
And crucially, give yourself permission to evolve your style. Talk to your players about what's working and what's not.
Campaigns are living, breathing collaborations, right? They need to be responsive to everyone's needs, including yours as the DM.
Perfection isn't the goal. Shared enjoyment and eagerness for the next session are. Your style will develop organically the more you run.
And reflection after each session is vital. Ask yourself, where did the energy spike? Who was quiet? Which scenes flew and which ones dragged?
Those insights guide your growth as a DM.
The core takeaway from Kenny King's in this article is incredibly empowering, I think. If 6 people are showing up at your table, excited to play in the world you've built.
You are already doing something pretty magical.
Exactly. A 6-player campaign isn't something to dread. It's powerful proof that your imagination drew a crowd.
And with careful preparation, smart strategies, and a willingness to experiment, you can absolutely transform that crowd into a legendary adventuring party.
So, summing up this deep dive into the LitRPG Reads article, while running a 6-player campaign presents unique challenges, the chaos is real, as we discussed.
Sure it is.
Approaching it with solid preparation, clear strategies, and a focus on player engagement unlocks immense rewards and opportunities for incredibly rich, dynamic storytelling.
The source truly provides a wealth of practical tips to make that happen. It's an excellent resource for DMs.
Definitely. A big shout out to LitRPG Reads and the author Kenny Kings for putting this together.
Yeah, great article. And it's also worth noting, as the article mentions, that Kenny first connected with Paul Bello during a D&D campaign, which is a cool bit of table history there.
Oh, nice.
So if you haven't, you should absolutely check out LitRPG Reads for more articles and resources. Paul Bello's doing great work over there.
Absolutely. Great stuff there.
Yeah.
Now, for you listening right now, take a moment to think about this.
Yeah.
Which of those challenges we talked about hits closest to home based on your own experience at a D&D table, big or small group?
Or looking at that huge list of strategies we just went through.
Which specific tactic from the article are you most curious to try out in your next session?
There are so many options to experiment with. Something in there must have sparked an idea.
We'd genuinely love to hear what works for you. Feel free to share your own experiences and maybe some of your go-to tips for running or playing in those exciting, sometimes chaotic, large D&D groups.